It is new fragrance time, Banoffee Pie by Lush. Good morning, I'm very excited to do today's fitness fragrance for you because we have got a new fragrance. Yes, one of the new body spray releases by Lush. It's this one here, Banoffee Pie. Now, I am a massive fan of any banana-based desserts. They are always my favourite. Banana cake, anything like that. Count me in. It's literally number one. So I had to get this fragrance. I've only had it for about 13-14 hours. Yes, I got it last evening. It's 7 o'clock this morning now, and I can't wait to actually wear it today and give it a full fitness fragrance review. If you haven't seen these before, essentially I'm going to do a morning workout. So I'm going to go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while reviewing this fragrance, Banoffee Pie. We're going to rank it on 5 categories. We'll look at its price / value for money, its versatility, its projections, how much I'm noticing it during my run, and obviously the other parts of my workout, compliment factor, so do I think people would say nice things about it, and also its longevity, where I'll spray miles before I go to the gym. 3 hours essentially go by where I won't have reapplied it after my shower and anything, and we'll just see if we can still detect the fragrance. But yeah, before we go into all that, we'll go into the note breakdown and talk about what is actually in Banoffee Pie. You can probably guess. Okay, so let's go into the note breakdown for this one. The best bit about Lush products, they give you a full ingredient list on the back and some little description at the front, and that's more than enough in terms of what you need to understand what this fragrance is. I do also want to add the banana note in this, because obviously banana is not always the most prominent in fragrances, but if you think of like a banana milkshake, and I do really need to emphasize this, it's very different to the smell of an actual banana, isn't it? If you've ever tasted a banana milkshake, it doesn't taste like a banana, does it at all? Not a chance. So it's that kind of synthetic banana smell which you do get in this fragrance as well. And obviously, being a Banoffee Pie is very prominent. But let's read the description here. Desserts on you as freshly baked vanilla meets a silken tonka glaze. Gourmands gone bananas. And there is a little bit more on the back. It says, ripe creamy banana notes are at the top of the menu thanks to sweet labdanum resinoid. Who said gourmand is just for the grown-ups? So that's the description. As you can tell here, it's really selling that banana. It's very, very prominent. Now, if I look at the ingredients here, they are in green, so the ones that are in green are the natural ones that they've included. They do also have some in black, which are essentially their safe synthetics they've added, and actually the one that's in here is parfum. So they have added other things on top of the natural notes that they've put in this fragrance to replicate the smell of a Banoffee Pie. But just reading the ingredients on the back, you've obviously got the vanilla extract, which they've mentioned, labdanum resinoid, and they also have the tonka seed extract, and I do believe there's a little bit of cinnamon that they've got here looking at the ingredients, but there's not too much more. I think whatever this banana note and caramel kind of combination that is this fragrance, it's probably some of that synthetic parfum, which they haven't really given you too much detail of what they've added there. But you don't really need to know that. Ultimately, it's all about the banana. It's all about the tonka bean, or the labdanum being the sort of banana note in this, the tonka bean, and also that vanilla adds that creaminess. And just spray a couple more because it is really, really nice. I cannot wait to review this today and see what score it gets overall. So yeah, I'm going to head out now. We'll do the first 2 categories, price / value for money, and also its versatility. I'll see you out there. And we are off, and it is another absolutely gorgeous morning. And I'm still buzzing from yesterday, our day out in London, because essentially we were meant to go to a museum, but it was closed because they were doing filming for a TV programme, which led to an impromptu shopping trip. And if it wasn't for that, I would have not got the fragrance I'm wearing and reviewing today, Banoffee Pie by Lush. And I do want to emphasise, just before I go into price / value for money, what I said earlier on. The banana note in this is much more of that gourmand banana milkshake smell, as opposed to like a plantation where you actually are growing the fruit banana. It's much more of that sweet candied version that you associate with banana sweets. And I wanted to mention that because I always talk about Lush and how natural their products are and how realistic they are. So if they do like a realistic like neroli note, it's kind of more of the natural product as opposed to the gourmand candied version. But when banana is used in fragrances, it tends to be more of that gourmand candied smell as opposed to the fruit itself, because let's be honest, the banana fruit itself, when it kind of does get quite ripe, it's not the sort of smell you'd want in a fragrance. So I'm not going to sort of mark Lush down today for having a really synthetic banana smell, because when it is used in perfumes, that's kind of the smell you do get. You get that candied gourmand version. And obviously normally when I'm talking about price / value for money, so let's talk about the price I paid. I paid £29, but it looks like Lush in general, their body spray prices are increasing ever so slightly. A few years ago you could get them for £25, then those £25 ones went up to £28, and now the £28 ones tend to be going up to £29, so they're just all creeping up ever so slightly. But I normally talk about scent quality when I'm obviously pricing these things, and look, does this smell the highest quality? No, because of the, I suppose, the synthetic elements. If I was like blindfolded with this one, do I think it smells like a £60-70 fragrance? No, it doesn't. But it's not really built for that. It's meant to essentially replicate the smell of a Banoffee pie than being this high-end, sophisticated type scent. So really, when we're pricing this today, I'm pricing it on the fact, is it replicating the smell it's trying to sell you? Yes, it is, 100%. I've never smelled a fragrance that has this banana note as powerful and strong in the opening as this one does. Whatever that labdanum is working with in combination with the parfum and the tonka bean, they've got it down to a T, and it feels really well blended. Sometimes Lush, where they use 3 or 4 notes, sometimes the notes are really nice, but they don't feel like they've blended that well. This one feels really well blended. It could basically be a dessert. My mum actually said when she smelled it yesterday, when we were coming back on the train, I could almost eat that, and that's what you get. It is exactly the smell of a Banoffee pie. It is perfect down to a T. Now, the criticism of that, if you turn to price/value money, is it almost too realistic? Some people might go, look, I really, really like that smell, but if someone was walking past you, and obviously we'll go into compliment factor and stuff later, they might just think someone's baked a Banoffee pie rather than you actually wearing a fragrance. But let's be honest, that's in line with what Lush do. Lush have many fragrances that smell like, well, Sticky Dates, for example. It has this lovely maple syrup smell. Let the Good Times Roll has this buttery popcorn smell. And that is what they are. They're mainly promoting themselves on gourmand scents, and that's what you get here. And look, I can't say it's not good. It replicates exactly what it says, and it's not lying to you. It says, well, look, it's meant to be Banoffee pie, and it replicates that smell perfectly. So you would be buying it for that reason, and that's why I'm going to give price/face money 9.5 out of 10. I'm really, really enjoying it. The banana note, top quality. Okay, so moving on to versatility. How much can you dress this one up, dress this one down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, look, as we just touched upon, this is not about class and sophistication. This is about smelling like a nice dessert. And currently, if we're looking at the sort of fragrance trends at the moment, things like vanilla, things like caramel, they're so popular in fragrances. People are looking for these gourmand type scents all the time, and that is exactly what this is. Do I think, though, an older gentleman's going to really appreciate this one? No. An older woman? Probably not, because it doesn't have that sophistication about it. But who would I say this is most suited to? I think this is most suited to anyone, to be honest, 40 and under probably the most, because it does have that juvenile, playful quality about it. It's so creamy. It's so creamy, but you do detect that little bit of like caramel in the background as well. It's Moorish, that's the word I can say. And I think with that does have an element of seductiveness and playfulness about it. Look, do I think this is suitable for gym workout or high heat days like today? Absolutely not. This is definitely more of a cool weather, cozy night in type scent. But it does have enough ability about it. It's got enough strength about it, which we'll go into later, where it can cut through a crowd, cut through the cold, and turn heads. So you could definitely wear it on a night out, in my opinion as well. Do I think it's going to be as good in those situations as like a booty scent? No, probably not. But if you're someone who just wants, again, for me, it's going to be best in those casual cold weather days, but an office scent where it's climate controlled. People are going to think positively of you because it is just more, like my mum said, you almost want to eat it. So casual occasions, younger person, and yeah, just a really good one, to be honest, to be your signature scent because of its uniqueness. I can't think of anything that smells like this. And if you're going to job interviews or anything like that, people will remember you for this fragrance because of how unique it is. So versatility isn't too bad. It's definitely suited to the cooler weather. It's not going to be one you're going to want to wear all year. You're going to want something to supplement this one, maybe a blue fragrance or a citrus one. And for that reason, I'm going to give versatility a 7.5. It does what it's meant to. It does what it's meant to. But that doesn't mean you want to wear it all the time, all year, because I think it would get a bit cloying in the high heat, and you just feel like you need that variation in your fragrance. Other than that, though, absolutely spot on. 7.5. There we are, workout done. You can tell this is a new fragrance because I've still got the price tag on it, £29. But it's now time to spray them and to test for projection. So if you haven't seen this before, I'm going to do 5 sprays. I don't want to spray any more than that because I don't want to waste it. But essentially what I'm trying to do is to see how much this fragrance fills up a room. So if a colleague came in, if this was a work office, family and friends at home, if they walked in, would they go, oh, someone's wearing something nice? Now, I've already got some experience of this, which I'll go on to a little bit later on when I have my coffee downstairs. But it's 9:12, so I'm going to spray my arms 2 times on each side. Essentially, this is the test for longevity. So when I leave the gym at about 12:15, I obviously won't apply the fragrance again now. Just want to see how much it lasts. Will it survive a walk, workout, and a shower? And just see how much I can detect it at that stage. So, yeah, let's head downstairs, have a coffee, and talk about projection during my run. Oh, coffee, the perfect complement after banoffee pie. But actually, it was very interesting during my run. So let's talk about the projection now. It almost had this kind of coffee accord as the second half came during my run. I think that's almost like this caramel tonka bean combination. The banana sort of wore off a bit more, and it felt like it mixed more with the vanilla. But there feels like there's a lot of complexity with this phrase, and that's not normally what I associate with Lush. Normally with Lush, it's very linear in terms of its smell. So when you spray it straight away, that's kind of the smell of the whole phrase. It doesn't particularly change. Whereas this one, you definitely get that sort of creaminess from the banana on the top, and then it tends to kind of settle down into this more coffee caramel combination, essentially. I've got orange all over my nose as well. I can't stop eating this. This banoffee pie is making me hungry. But that's because the projection was super strong. Now, honestly, in that first kind of hour and a half, so I did a 2-hour run, it was there, but it wasn't there where it was like, oh, I can't get rid of it. It's taking the oxygen away. It was just in fleeting moments, every 5-10 minutes, change of direction, and it was lovely. And if I thought about like, oh yeah, I'm doing this review today, is it still there? I could also just dip my head down a little bit, and it would just be there. I could find it straight away. It was perfect, exactly what I want in terms of projection. Not too cloying, not too heavy, but certainly not something where I think I can't even detect it at all. Easy to find, didn't have to look for it. Spot on. And yesterday, as I wanted to touch upon, in terms of filling up a room, which we're going to go test in a minute, I sprayed this on the train yesterday. So my mum and dad had gone to a different museum. They went to something else. Me and my brother were the ones that bought this fragrance. Sprayed it in the train just to ask what they thought. And honestly, it filled up the whole sort of carriage of our train. I could smell it from the other side, but my brother tested it on my mum. I was sitting on the seats opposite. Didn't even have to reach. Just like, there's a definite smell here. It is very, very nice. Perfect in terms of, I don't think it's ever going to be cloying, but it has that mass appeal and it's very nice. So we're going to head upstairs in a minute and we will give that score on projection. I think this is going to fill up a room. Absolutely no problem at all. Did it on the train. It's got vanilla in it. It's a winning combination. Okay, up we go. Biscuits in mouth. I honestly have not stopped eating today. I'm sure it's this fragrance. It's making me feel like food. I need food. Right. So top of the stairs. Yeah, I haven't even got into my room. I can smell that creamy banana. I haven't even walked into my room yet. Wow, this is, honestly, this is delicious. This is the only real word I can describe that. Moorish delicious. I just want to eat it. Like my mum said yesterday, I just want to eat this fragrance. It is so nice. I've always said Sticky Dates is the best. This might be one of the best. And I looked on their website this morning. It is a limited edition fragrance, which is so frustrating. Please keep this as a permanent fixture, Lush, because, wow. I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to do this. I very rarely do this. I'm going to give 11 out of 10. One, because of the scent, because it's so, so nice, the projection. It's not one of those fragrances you think, oh, this is going to be too divisive, which a lot of strong fragrances, particularly retro ones, can be. Not at all. This has got easily mass appeal. That is the number one thing about it. It's so mass appealing. But even though it's really strong, I never feel this one's going to become cloying to the point you're sick of it. Look, I don't think I necessarily want to wear this one back-to-back days, but I think if you're someone who's working in an office and someone comes in every day, they know you're in the room. They will know you're in the room. They'll know you from the corridor because they can smell it. It's got a real sillage about it as well. And again, it's just got that addictiveness where people will bring it up. People are going to talk about this one and you're going to stand out. It's got that uniqueness around it. And oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's done so well. It fills up. This will cut through a crowd. And it's very rare that do that. And that's for that reason, I've got to give it 11 out of 10. If this was a winter's day, because it's quite a hot day today, obviously it would be even better. But wow, I cannot get enough of this at the moment. I know I've only had it for about 16 hours or whatever, but this is a real gem. 11 out of 10 for projection. I'm going to head to the gym now and talk about compliment factor on the way. Do I think people will say good things about this? You probably already know the answer to that one. So moving on to compliment factor then for Banoffee pie, and I've had to give myself sort of just 10 to 15 minutes to kind of collect my thoughts on this one, because actually It's a really difficult one to explain, but I'm going to say the first thing that comes to my mind is this fragrance is all about fun. That Lush isn't out there to try and be a Creed fragrance or anything like that. It's all about just having a bit of fun and being a little bit quirky with their scents. And that's what this is. It certainly ticks the box. And for most people, look, they're going to enjoy this again. It's got that playful side, it's a bit casual, it's relaxing, but it is moreish and it's addictive. And if you're not someone who's really into your fragrances, I think you're going to enjoy it because it has that kind of, fruity banana sweet smell about it, banana milkshake type vibe, which is very appealing, certainly very appealing to me. I absolutely love it. But if you are someone who does have obviously a real interest in scents and fragrances, and you're probably not going to be shopping on Lush anyway, you're probably going to be looking more at those, more reputable brands like Dior, like Paco Rabanne, and maybe higher end ones like Creed. And obviously when you think of Creed fragrances, they're really, really serious type scents, and that's everything that this isn't. So in some ways it's kind of like it's the anti-fragrance essentially for a lot of people. Some people will just find this too sweet, too cloying, juvenile, and just an absolute synthetic mess. And as I said, I completely understand if you're coming from that lens, but for the average person, the person that's walking by you that's only smelling this, in fleeting moments, I just can't see it not being a compliment getter. It's so loud, but it's not too cloying. It's a recognisable scent. Again, vanilla's very popular in fragrances, labdanum's very popular in fragrances. Obviously, tonka beans needs to be in absolutely every fragrance going. So it's not got anything too divisive about it. And I think that playfulness is actually quite approachable. It makes it a more approachable scent. It's not serious with any leather or spice that could be quite off-putting, quite aggressive. So it's approachable, and that is exactly what Lush is trying to be here, and that's what they've always been. I think they do sort of fresh scents, but they're best known for these gourmand type fragrances, and that's exactly what this is. And honestly, for the first time today, I think this one has got enough kick about it where someone at the gym, because it's got this uniqueness about it, it doesn't smell like anything else that I've smelled. It's certainly not like a blue fragrance, or it's not like those generic caramel vanilla combination fragrances like a Ferragamo Uomo. It stands out in its own right, and that's going to make people go, oh, I've got to ask him or I've got to ask her what that is. It's got that unisex potential about it, and that's why I think that huge mass appeal will lend itself to having compliments alongside that uniqueness and its overall performance. So I'm going to say compliment factor here is an 8.5. Again, if you're a fragrance connoisseur, you're going to say, no, this is terrible, this is everything that's wrong with modern fragrances, modern scents. But if you're someone who, let's be honest, is shopping in Lush, this is exactly what you want. This is what you've been looking for with body sprays. Again, something that fits very much in the mould of their gourmand scents, but it does something that little bit different that makes you think, it wouldn't be redundant in my collection. And that's why I'm giving it a high score, 8.5 out of 10. But I think today, of course, if we do get in the gym, we bump it up to a 10. I think this one's got a really good chance. There we are, workout done. It is basically 20 past 12. It's been just over 3 hours since I applied Banoffee Pine before I went to the gym. How much can I actually still smell this fragrance? Okay, it's probably not quite as strong as I thought it might be, but I have said this with Lush fragrances before, because I don't think the amount of notes they put in this fragrance, and because they tend to be more natural, I do think that sometimes affects the performance of the fragrance when I come out of the shower. It's probably about 35 to 40% as strong, but I don't know, just because of how loud it is in the opening, maybe it's this lack of depth that affects its performance. But it's not quite as strong as I was expecting, just because it felt almost like a beast mode scent for most of the day. Now, look, pre the shower, was it still strong? Yes. I to be honest, I didn't get a compliment at the gym, but for the first time I had someone turn their head and really stare at me, this lady. Now, maybe that's because she thought I said something, or maybe she was just looking at my bad hair day, but I think it was because it was the fragrance. So I always say this, if you can smell a fragrance on yourself and you say, oh, that's strong on me, it's probably even stronger to people around you, because you're kind of immersed in it. You become a little bit nose blind to the scent, and that's what I think. I honestly would say before my shower, it was 70-75% as strong as it was when I applied it earlier. So I think that's really where it's fallen down. It's just literally after that. And again, you're not going to often be wearing this fragrance and then have a shower halfway through the day. So if you're wearing this one at work in the cool winter, again, this is a hot day, I'm doing a workout, which isn't when you're going to mainly wear it. Or if you're, just wearing it at home or on a night out, it's probably going to get you through the job. It's more built to do. So yeah, I don't see that as a real limitation on its longevity. And on the whole, it was really good. It kept me really interested during my workout. Sometimes I say this, when you're tired and you think, oh, I've just had enough now. Sometimes just having that little distraction of a scent really helps, and it did today. So I'm not going to mark it down too much for longevity. Again, it's just because I had such high hopes because of how loud it was in the opening. But I do think that lack of depth, the lack of complexity, and the fact the oils are more natural in this, maybe that lends itself to weaker performance. I don't know. We've got to remember they are body sprays as well. They're not odour parfums, odour sets or anything like that. They are body sprays, and I have found with the Lush odour parfums, they are a little bit stronger, but they are a lot more expensive. So I think in terms of the score for this one, I'm going to give it, just because it's literally just been post the shower, it's not as strong as I thought. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, the scent has actually changed a bit on my skin as well. As I'm trying to say earlier, that banana opening is really strong, and it did transition later into more of a almost coffee caramel combination. But now it's kind of like this vanillic floral scent. It's much more feminine. But the banana has worn off. So yeah, you may just want to reapply just to get that banoffee pie scent back if you do get hot through the day. But I honestly don't think you need to take this one with you to work. I think it's going to get confidence in those first few hours and maybe push through into the afternoon as well. So yeah, 8 out of 10. I think that's a fair score. But yeah, when we get back, we'll count up all the scores and I'll give my overall thoughts. We are back, and looking at the forecast now, it has certainly changed from when I was doing my run earlier today, but it is now 1:30 p.m. Yes, left for a run at 7 o'clock this morning. That means I've done 42,780 steps, all while wearing Banoffee Pie. Yes, the new body spray by Lush. Now, what was the total score based on those 5 rounds we looked at today? Done really well. 44.5 out of 50. Now, I do need to kind of emphasise, it's kind of like the new toy to me at the minute. Like, I didn't even know this phrase particularly existed 24 hours ago. I'd heard that there was a couple of new lines. Didn't really filter with me that actually I was going to get it that day, yesterday when I was in London. But my word, I'm absolutely in love with it at the moment. The banana note in this, obviously, I've just sprayed it. It's moreish, it's addictive, and it's everything what Lush is. I think I've always said this with Lush body sprays, that Lush are this. They're meant to be this kind of natural, kind of gourmand type fragrances. Now, does it really smell like a high quality, high end scent? If you're looking for that, no, I wouldn't recommend it for that. But if you're someone who absolutely loves Lush body sprays, this is another gourmand line that they've brought out that's doing something different from the other ones they've had. Again, I've been critical of this in recent times. They'll bring out some new body sprays, and I think it smells a little bit like that one, or it's, you can see nuances between the others, or it just feels like they've rushed their homework, essentially. This one, it doesn't feel like it. It's a limited edition scent, as we touched upon earlier, that could be used in the same situations as a sticky date, for example. But it's all about being a little bit fun, a little bit gimmicky, because it smells like banoffee pie. And that's what this is trying to be. It's not trying to be this high-end scent like, a Creed or a Frederic Malle or a Parfums de Marly. No, it's not that. It's what it's meant to be, a very safe, I say safe, just a very, very realistic gourmand scent that smells like one of my favourite desserts. And I've never smelled a scent that smells as good as this in terms of there's a banana note, banana being the prominent thing here. I don't know what else to say. It's just amazing, and it's really helped me through my workout today. Again, slightly sore knees, done quite a lot of running lately, as you probably see from my videos. It just kept me going. It's really windy out there. It distracted me. It distracted me. It was with me my whole workout today, and that's what I really liked. Again, started at 7 o'clock, basically didn't get home till 1 o'clock this afternoon. You're talking 5-6 hours of wearing a fragrance, and it definitely came on that journey with me. So, do I recommend it? Yes, to people who love Lush body sprays. If you like your gourmand Lush body sprays, I'm pretty confident you're going to like this one. If you're a fragrance enthusiast who actually really appreciates those maybe more retro, old school animated scents that are meant to smell like a fragrance rather than a gourmand, essentially a dessert. So I wouldn't recommend it for those people because it isn't that sort of thing. You'd think it's a bit cheap, a bit naff, a bit gimmicky. But I've actually, just purely on the smell, it's moreish, it's addictive, and if it stays around, this certainly won't be the last time I buy it. It's probably going to be on my 30th birthday list, which is starting to get very big the more fragrances I try. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one today. Let me know if you've tried this one and your thoughts on this. Do you think it's almost too realistic, too foodie-like? Because again, you don't really want people to think, oh, I smell like a dessert. You want to know that it's a fragrance they're wearing. But yeah, or use one of those like me that's just absolutely in love with it. Again, very early days. I appreciate at the moment it's a love. It may get even more of a love. It may drop a little bit the more I wear it. But at the moment, that's what I'm giving it. That's as honest as I can be today. 44.5 out of 50. Top 10. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one today, and plenty more reviews to come. My brother also bought some fragrances yesterday, so we will do some fitness fragrance reviews over the course of next week alongside some other videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you later.